In the Ninjago TV show, Kai is the master of fire. But what if he wasn't just the master of fire? What if he had the power of the Oni? Now currently we're going to be making an Oni Kai custom, but in the actual show, Kai was a dragon.
What magic is this? Stop them, before it's too late!
So to make our Oni form Kai, we're going to have to change it up and make something different. Now for the Oni helmets, I had these 3 from Crystallized, as well as these 3 from Sons of Garmadon. Now, people would usually say I should use the red one for Kai, but instead I'm going to be choosing this gold one. Now, say Kai is walking by and sees a Crystal Warrior try to attack Lloyd. Here's Oni Kai saving Lloyd. Oni Kai has a bunch of red on his face, along with some red markings on his forehead, wielding purple fire-like power, which is still fire, just influenced by the Oni. And he has some super cool dark red horns. Do you think we need an official Oni Kai minifigure? Now, for our next power, let's just say Jay is around. He's just standing, minding his own business, and, I don't know, watching, like, the water. And then there's Asphira. She's just coming at him. Asphira then gets up from the attack and looks. There is no Jay. In fact, instead there's a dummy that is in replacement for Jay. You see, Jay and the rest of the ninja team should have this new power where they can just replace themselves with a replacement guy. And, you know, the replacement guy will be replaced with them. So when Asphira attacks, Jay would just be standing to the side. So for example, if Asphira attacks Aaron, there's just some random orange guy broken in his place. And Aaron is right there. So if Asphira tries to take another shot, well, it's just another broken guy. Aaron is right there. And so Aaron could just keep on switching with replacements and annoy Asphira. Speaking of powers, if you get the Chief Mammotus figure and take his hands, you can actually put it on the Sora minifigure and it looks like her powers are actually glowing. If you want to play Lego Brawls with some real competition, we have just created a Discord server. Join link in the description. Come play with us. For our next what if power, what if Lloyd had the power of, and since he's green screen. Yep, what if he had the power of green screen? So say Beatrix is just doing her thing and Lloyd wants to spy on her to hear her evil plans. Guess what he can do? He's actually right there in that video right now. He's standing right next to Beatrix as part of a green screen. He's like invisible and he's in there. So how is he going to get this green screen suit that could turn him invisible? Well, of course it's going to be Pixel. Pixel is absolutely amazing. She can build anything. Honestly, she pretty much carries the ninja team at this point. Anyway, she's built the Samurai X-Mech, so I can't see why she can't build an invisibility suit. And so she does. So here we have Lloyd and an example of his invisibility suit working. See, he's gone. Do you know what this reminds me of? His dad. And I would guess his mom too. Like seriously, I'm pretty sure Garmadon has spent more time with Lloyd than Misako. Now before we keep on going, LEGO has said if we reach 10,000 subscribers, we might be able to review new Ninjago sets. So please help us out and hit the subscribe button below. And so next up we have another different thing, which would be to microscale. The Ninjago City markets came with these microscale Ninjago minifigures or microfigures, and this would be great for, you know, going into secret spy missions. Like they're technically standing right next to the villain and hearing all their plans just because they're microscale and no one can see them. These microfigure pieces are very useful and I wish LEGO made much more. On my Ninjago Advent Calendar video, if you guys haven't seen it already, it's released by now. I've made a ton of Ninjago Dragons Rising microfigures along with Happy 097 and Swift studs. If you want to see, we have all the microfigures here. We have micro versions of almost every really good Dragons Rising character. Here we have Kai, Wyldfyre, and Cole. I think these came out really well and they look a lot like their actual designs. Wyldfyre is a bit weird because she doesn't really have good hair on, but other than that, I think they all look pretty good. Next up is Zane, Jay, Lloyd, and Yin. I think they all came out great. Some of the colors are a bit weird, I think, on Nia, Jay, and Zane, but they all worked out really well, and for micro scale, I think Happy 097 and Swift Studs did a really good job making these. Next up is Aaron, Lord Raz, Empress, and Sora, and if the ninja did go micro scale, I don't think Lord Raz or Empress would actually be there, but here is Aaron and Sora. I think Aaron came out great, one of the best. It worked very well in the end. As for Sora, I don't think the execution was as good as the plan, but you know, it was pretty alright for what we got. Now, if you really thought about it, Pythor can also disappear because he can turn invisible, and then, you know, if Pixel gets a hand of, or on hand of some of his skins, she can put on Lloyd, and you know, he can like disappear wherever. And then for Aaron, I was thinking, since he didn't really have a power, we could give him the power of brick separators. Yep, he can just spawn brick separators out of nowhere and do whatever he wants with them. So if he wants to attack a villain, he can just take it and, well, kill the villain, I guess. And so he wants to make a brick separator raft. He can do that by putting 2 brick separators right next to one another. If he wants to make a brick separator bird looking thing, or like a flight, he could do that. It looks kind of like a bird, like that's the beak and there are those 2 wings. Or if he wants to even make it better and make a brick separator Spinjitzu, which doesn't look as much as of a Spinjitzu as I would think. It looks more like an air jutsu, you know, because he has all those types of Spinjitzu powers anyway. I think that could become a pretty fun power for Aaron. A lot of people complain about the Ninjago elements, and people are like, well, these aren't really like great elements. See, the thing is, in like mostly every show, you would see a fire element, a water element, a wind element, and an earth element. And you know, since Zane and Nia have such similar powers, maybe instead of Zane being the ice element, he could be the wind element. And instead of Jay being the lightning element, he could be the water element, which is pretty weird to think about, but I guess it could work. So we have fire, water, wind, and earth. But that's really it for today. So, bye.